dancehall me from creation.
Yes, cunt lords and motherfuckers. This is Sam Spanner, and I'm with my legendary cousin.
Adam Shagem, how are you?
Yeah, fucking dandy, mate. How are you?
Knackered.
Cream crackered.
Proper knackered,
Oh,
mate. Proper knackered.
yeah. Oh, dear. So I was going to say, right? So I was speaking to Grandad on the old blower yesterday, and he said that you are literally one motherfucker of a pie connoisseur and pie maker.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
fucking congratulations, mate.
Yeah, no, we invited him round for dinner last week after he'd been in to have a procedure done at the hospital.
That's the one.
And then,
No, that cheered him up, defo.
yeah.
I tell you what, I was saying to you, like, so the poor bloke, because he's on all sorts of different meds and stuff, and he gets proper cotton mouth, and his fucking dry gums were restricting the lip movement. And then he got a coughing fit. And then what he was trying to say to me yesterday was obviously that you get all of the ingredients, and then you sort of line the tin with the pastry and whack everything in the pie and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then he says he puts cunts of stuff. so where the fuck did that come from?
Oh, brilliant.
Fucking brilliant. Oh dear. Right, I'm gonna open a can of whoop ass. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
So the Alpha Blokes poddies are sponsored by Better Beers. And my beer isn't a better beer, it's a bollock beer. It's just a fucking supermarket can of piss.
Nice. Best way forward.
Definitely, mate. So I've got some things to say. So a couple of weeks ago, my parents flew out to Spain and
Right.
spent a good 5 days over here.
Yep.
And my dad had done his back in again, so he was downstairs in the basement, alone on the bed in agony. And then I thought, fucking hell, I'm gonna get my mum because I'm a right cunster of a cunt. I mean, a prankster of a cunt. Cunster of a prank. So it happened to be the evening when, mate, you were on fire. Fucking hell, you had a machete up your ass because you were there blasting out these fart recordings.
Yeah, no, I'm not actually sure exactly what was going on, but yeah, it wasn't good.
Oh, mate, no, it was fucking prime because what I did is I just put my phone on full blast and I was playing each fart after fart. And she was like, what the fuck's wrong with you two? You're nearly fucking 40 years old. Oh, mate. Oh, that was so funny. And what I'd done, right, this is a fucking ripper of a yarn, mate. So hold on, I'm going to get a swig of beer before I hit you with this. So, right. One thing that I swear is a superfood, right? Well, in fact, I'm going to ask you this. What do people in the UK normally go on about as being a superfood?
Doner kebab.
Fucking hell.
No.
Oh, mate, that is a British staple, definitely.
No, superfood would be like, yeah, I'd say along the lines of like blueberries, stuff like that, pulses, things, you know, that's what we are led to believe.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this, right?
Yeah.
I believe that the ultimate superfood has to be pearl barley.
Nice.
Now, I don't know if this is to do with the sort of rural family heritage that we've got, but let me just say this, mate. But pearl barley, if it's cooked incorrectly, fuck me, does it give you the farts?
Yes.
So, mate, I made this like proper pucker sort of casserole,
Right.
and I threw in like copious amounts of pearl barley,
Nice.
and I knew it was gonna piss my mum off because she's got IBS, and she had to get on the flight back to the UK the next day.
Nice.
So, mate, I like did the fucking fully loaded pearl barley casserole, and as soon as mum realised what was in it, she just looked at me like, "Fucking you bastard." And she was kind of reluctantly spooning it into her mouth and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, she was starting to complain about being in agony. And when I had to drive him to the airport the following morning, I got up first thing, sort of around 6 in the morning,
Yeah.
and I went down to the basement to pick him up, and I said, "All right, we better get in the car now." And my dad says, "Fucking hell, you don't realise this, but your mum, she was farting all night long." She only went and fucking blew the blanket off the bed. And you know what my dad's like with farts? He
Yeah.
can't stand them,
Yeah.
which makes the whole thing even better. And mate, honestly, I do love pearl barley. I think it is one hell of a fucking thing to eat. But I'll tell you something, mate. It does affect me as well. And you know how we're quite high up above sea level?
Yeah.
In this part of the country, we're about sort of 600 meters above sea level.
Yeah.
And when you got to drive down to Malaga, which is sort of like right next to the sea,
Yeah.
there's quite an altitude descent. And mate,
Pressure.
halfway on the road, I was farting anyway. And Dad was just like fucking really unhappy because he's got a broken nose anyway. His sinuses don't work properly. Mate, I had to just there's this picnic area lay by, and it was about 7:15 in the morning, just as the sun was coming up, and I thought, fucking hell, fucking bombed it in there. I was about to shit myself, and my mum said, "Fuck, watch out! You're gonna drive right over that pothole and fuck up the suspension." I was like, "Don't care." I fucking had to park the car right next to this like battered old tree, pulled my old kegs down, went straight into the squat next to where my dad was sat in the car. Mate, I must have shat out fucking 3 kilos of prime turd. My dad was not impressed. Fortunately, being parents as we are, you can never go wrong with having a packet of baby wipes in the car. So I did a good old wipe straight back into the car. Oh, mate, I don't know how I did. I was literally going to shit myself in the car, but Dad got full view of this fucking rocket coming out with the fucking arse. Which then makes me think about the next thing, right? Because I've been working in education for about 15 years now.
Yeah.
And I tell you, something really awkward happened the other day because I also teach science in English over here in this part of the world,
Right.
because they obviously they're Spanish kids and whatnot, and they were doing the unit about the universe, and they were doing their oral presentations in front of the class. And I thought, oh, fucking hell, I just cannot contain myself. There was this one lad who stood up in front of the class. His first words, I shit you not, with these: Uranus is a gas giant. And I just started fucking roaring away. Oh. Oh, mate, the immaturity is brilliant. I swear it's what keeps me sane.
Brilliant.
Oh, mate, what do you think of last night when I sent you that fucking fucking combo? Oh,
Yeah, no,
full on.
it sounded like Do you remember the first Transformers film when they're in the CIA or the FBI room
Uh,
and they were trying to work out these codes coming through? They're picking up alien sounds. That's basically what it sounded like. It was brilliant.
Oh, fucking class, mate. Oh, I don't suppose you got your phone next to you if you could whack it on, but I
Bear
swear,
with.
because I knew that I had this like garlic infused tagliatelle,
Right.
and I drank a can of piss, and fucking hell, my bowels were like fucking churning away. So what I did is I'd got the kids in bed, and I thought, right, I'm gonna close the bedroom door, lie down on my back, try to lift the feet up, and fucking started rocket launching towards you guys.
Right, hang on. Where are we? Hopefully, you better pick this up.
Yeah,
Oh, hang on. Wrong. What's going on?
I think it was the
Here we go.
31-second.
Oh, hang on. No, something's going wrong here. Hang on.
Whack the volume up and put it right next to the mouthpiece.
Here we go. Oh. Hang on. What's going on?
You swallowed him?
Oh, hang on.
God. Mate, I got the fucking giggles and a half. Oh, mate. Oh, dear.
AIDS.
oh, the immaturity is beyond fucking forgiveness.
Oh, I reckon if they were to like take a swab of my phone, it'll just have like shit particles everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Right, mate. Oh, dear. Now, I was going to ask you, has anything randomly funny happened of late, either in your gaff with your parents, or I don't know, with the boys at work?
I'm trying to think.
Well, have a little think about it,
I'll have a think
because
about it because nothing springs to mind straight away.
yeah,
It's been
well,
quite quiet, I think, but I'll have a think anyway.
because what I was going to do is, apart from get rid of this snot running down my nose,
Nice.
is yeah, it's fucking hay fever season already. So it's
Really?
been in the high 20s over here, mate, and you're covered in snow over in your part.
Yeah.
So yeah, the episode I thought would be called the Uni Grubs. Now I went to Essex Uni
Yep.
about 20 years, almost 20 years ago now,
Yep.
and I've lived with some real absolute fucking dirty grubs. So some of these dotes have been mentioned in various episodes, but I thought I'm going to start off making a compilation, and I'm just going to start to batter and bruise your ears, mate, with some of these different characters. Now you will remember quite a few of them.
Yep.
Now one of them was called Myron.
Yep.
His nickname was Mape, and this lad was of Sri Lankan origin. He was British, but he was absolutely bruised and battered as a kid. He used to get beaten around, and just to take the piss out of him, we used to ask him, "So, what was your parents' favorite weapon of choice?" and he said the coat hanger. So and mate, in his culture they had this fucked up, strange horoscope thing. So when you're born, you get like, I don't know, granddad would call it a bit of voodoo or something, but you get sort of your life told in front of you.
Right.
So apparently, he was going to marry a woman in a wheelchair
Right.
and die in a tragic car accident.
Nice.
And he was proper unlucky. And mate, any random shit, like for example, he'd lose stuff like no man's business. And he did say that when he was younger, he was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactive disorder.
Right.
So he was a bit fucked up. And I remember we were doing these drinking games in the kitchen
Yeah.
because we had a motherfucker of a kitchen. It was huge, you know. It was for the 16 of us
Yeah.
in the high rises. And I swear, this was the most tactical puke I've ever seen in my life. So some cunt had brought a bottle of absinthe,
Right.
and it was the first time I tried it, and fucking nearly blew my head off. And what he did is he's like, "Oh no, I can't drink absinthe. This is gonna fuck me up." And we were like, "Come on, mate, down it." And he's like, "No, please, don't make me do this." He says, "I've had this is a lot of bad shit's happened to me in the past." So anyway, being a lad, he ends up downing it, and the next thing he has this fucked up natural regurgitation process where this fucking foam came straight out of his mouth, and then he held his hand out and he managed to push the foam straight into the kitchen sink. I thought, what a fucking shot that was.
Oh,
And mate, he'd randomly, if anyone sort of came up with an idea about doing something,
yeah.
I swear it was like he'd get mega excited straight away.
Right.
And I remember the, like, you know, what it's like living in North Essex, you know, when the weather sort of all of a sudden goes sunny, everyone wants to go outside and go for a walk and t-shirts off and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, apparently some of the boys were like, fuck it, let's go out and have a barbecue. And they'd already got meat and stuff and everything prepared.
Yeah.
And then Myron was like, "Oh, I ain't got any meat. I'm gonna just see what I can find in the I'm gonna see what I can find in the fucking freezer." And he found a bag of like Tesco frozen chicken breasts that hadn't been filleted or anything.
Right.
So I was like, "What the fuck are you gonna do with that?" It's like, "Oh no, just stick them straight on the barbie and then they'll defrost." I was like, "How are you not gonna get food poisoning?" It's like, "Oh, all be good, all be good." And mate, shit you not, the poor bloke for ages was like going around saying, "Oh yeah, I've got blood in my stool." Like fucking hell. And mate, I remember. So what you did, right, is this is terrible. Now in the second year, right, I remember when we were living in Greenstead, which is like one of the worst council estates in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "All right, we've just gone out on the piss," and then we'd finish the night out, and then we'd go to, instead of going straight back to Greenstead, we'd stay on campus for a bit, and we'd
Right.
go to this. It was called the Nightline Service. So anyone who was feeling suicidal or, you know, fucking fucked up in the head and they needed to speak to someone,
Yeah.
we went there because you could always get free bread, free toast and butter. So we went there, and you could also get free Johnnies.
Right.
So and lube as well. If you were batting for the other team, they'd give you these extra thick black Johnnies that were they were fucking indestructible, and it would come with a sachet of lube as well. And I actually tried one once, not with a bloke, but with one of my exes, and but you couldn't feel a thing. It was like wearing a fucking Wellington boot on it. And imagine being black, if you're doing someone up, rooting someone's dude, you wouldn't get any shit on you. You wouldn't see any shit on it.
Brilliant.
Oh, so mate. Apart from that, there was another tray next to the trays of Johnny's. There was a tray full of rape alarms. This
Right.
well, fucking bad. So he'd grab a rape alarm, and then he'd peg it. We'd leave the place, and then just where the towers were,
Yeah.
like the high rises on campus. Well, to the entrance of the towers, there was this sort of like flat shelter bit above it. I don't know what the word is, but anyway, he'd fucking activate the rape alarm and throw it right on top of the fucking awning bit, and then everyone asleep would be like, "Oh, who let the fucking rape alarm?" Oh dear. And then to make things worse, he's like, before we go home, I need to do one more thing. I'm like, what's that? I need to go shopping. I'm like, fucking hell. Tesco's is well far away.
Yeah.
How? And he's like, nah, I'm going to go shopping here. And I'm like, the campus shop's shut. You do realize? Nah, I'm going shopping. So it's like, what do you mean? Follow me. So this was like a weekly staple. He'd go up into random flats and he'd get a huge bin liner and he'd play supermarket sweep and fucking raid everyone's fridges. And the cupboards. And then he'd fucking just bomb it back to the old back to the digs on the fucking council estate.
Yeah.
And the next morning he'd wake up with a like stinking hangover and he'd be like, "Oh, I feel guilty as fuck. I'm such a bastard." It's just like damn straight.
Brilliant.
Oh mate. No, so and apart from that, he was like fucking, because he had ADHD.
Yeah.
Like he'd do stuff and forget about it.
Right.
Like the time he's like, he wanted to make a jacket potato, and he'd put a whole big jumbo-sized spud in the oven, and then he went on the campus, and then we were like, oh fucking hell, where's all the smoke coming from? There was one motherfucking or a smoke bomb of a potato. Oh,
Brilliant.
mate.
Did
And I
he
swear,
also rupture a testicle?
yes.
Nice.
Now, when we I think in the first year we were flat 14.
Yeah.
Like right up at the top of the tower, and we were quite pally with flat 11 or flat 2. And then what we did is we hired out the football pitch, and then we did our flat versus their flat.
Yeah.
And mate, he was so fucking unlucky because he went to jump up for a header, and someone on our team kneed him straight into the balls. Fucking sprayed him. He was seeing the stars, mate. He looked like he was dying on the fucking football pitch. They had to he ended up having like a proper operation to like untwist the balls, but all of the cables in the sack were all fucking twisted.
Oh.
And then he needed apparently he needed his balls sort of stapling on the inside of the sack so they wouldn't twist over again.
Fucking hell.
It was well bad.
Hang on a sec, hang on.
Yeah. Ford Capri.
That's a live one.
Oh, fucking brilliant, mate.
Oh god, my microphone stinks.
Talking about stink, mate, this guy, he managed to get a really bad fucking STD. And so he hooked up with this Oriental girl, and we kept on calling her Spade Face because she looked like an alien. And apparently he'd gone down on her, And then the next day, he's sort of like half of his face looks swollen, and he got like whooping pink eye.
Oh, oh,
Oh mate, it was well bad, and then another major accident he had where he nearly fucking broke his neck. Is the boys thought it would be a good idea to get one of those, the pull-up bars you can
yeah,
get for the door frames,
yes,
where you've got two sort of like screws that you don't need to drill them in or anything, but they go like by pressure.
yeah.
So the more you twist them, the increase in pressure. So he was there. Look how many fucking pull-ups I can do. And the next thing went fucking crashing down and bang. Nearly fucking killed himself, mate. Oh, mate. And then apparently, well, not it wasn't apparently. I remember we were all fucking arguing because there was no fucking clean dishes left
Right.
in the flat, and they'd all fucking disappeared. And the dirty cunt, we realised that he'd been keeping them all in his wardrobe. So and they were all covered in fucking mold.
Oh.
Oh,
How many were in there?
mate, there was about 12 at least.
Oh.
There was, mate, it was that bad. We were all proper fucked off with him. He's like, oh, I'll go and wash them up. But he didn't even fucking wash them up properly. I was like, use bleach, you cunt. They were that bad. Oh,
What doesn't
mate,
kill you makes you stronger.
there we go. Apart from age, but I remember this was second year of uni. I'd made this Christmas lunch for us. Hold on, it was just me and the boys. So there's about, I can't remember. There was about 8 of us,
Yeah.
and so because we was like asking like what would we be normally doing on Christmas Day and stuff. And he's like, oh, well, my dad's an alcoholic, and my mum and sister, because his parents were separated. And then he's like, no, my mum and sister just pray. And we're like, what? And what? You mean like to Jesus or Father Christmas? And he's like, no. So they belong to some sort of minority religion of Sri Lanka.
Right.
And he's like, yeah. So they just meditating and stuff. And then we were like, who are they praying to? And then Sand, the other flatmate, said fucking jihad. Who is actually also of Sandeep. He's of Indian descent. So there was, if a normal white bloke had have said that, there would have been some fucking serious racist accusations. Oh dear. So another really funny thing, right? Okay, what another really funny thing that happened was. Hold on, let me just have to drink a piss. So, right, this is disgusting. But when he went out on the piss in London, he'd love to go to a brothel afterwards.
Right.
And and he said he was that fucking drunk that when he was with the prosy, she was like, "Come on, come," and he said he was trying his hardest. The next thing he knew, the fucking Johnny fired off, and he just pissed all over her. It's so bad. Oh,
Oh, God.
oh dear, oh dear.
He is literally the unluckiest person on the planet.
Oh, totally. And mate, I remember. So he somehow managed to convince his dad to borrow his dad's old Vauxhall Vetra. So he'd driven it back up to uni and stuff. And then he'd left it on campus, and then some of the boys were like, "Oh, come on, we're all fucked." And he's like, "Come on, just drive it back to Greenstead. It's only 2 minutes down. Down. Oh, fucking hell, what's the Elmstead Road? Is it?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Come on, we'll be back home in 20 seconds." And he's like, "Oh no, I'm too drunk to drive." And he fucking turned into Greenstead. Don't know what he did, but he fucking lost control of the car, smashed into a wall, and it was a full-on write-off, mate. Oh, mate, he somehow had to like just leave it and wipe the steering wheel and whatnot, and then when he reported it to the police a few days later, he's like, "Yeah, I can't find my car. I think someone's nicked it, some joyriders or something." Oh, mate. So but one of the best things, right? So being unlucky as it is, on those like different societies at uni.
Yeah.
Well, one of them was it was called the the parachuting society or something,
Right.
where you'd be able to do a jump out of a plane and stuff. And I thought, what the fuck are you doing joining them, you tart? And he was like, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. This, that, and the other." So when it was after he'd done all this, like, God knows how many week training course, and it was finally the opportunity for him to jump out the plane. I swear, I don't know how he didn't die, but he couldn't open the parachute. And then when he managed to open it, he was too near the ground, so the approach speed was ridiculous. But he didn't kill himself, but he fucked up his ankle. So he must have spent like half an academic year on crutches. And when he turned 21, when we got to the one of the bars on campus, we were like, "Right, we're gonna buy you 21 shots to celebrate your birthday." And then he's like, "Oh, this is gonna kill me." We're like, "Come on, you fucking jumped out of an airplane without a working parachute and you survived. This ain't gonna kill you." He's like, "Oh, fuck it." Got excited, started downing him. He must have got to about shot 17 and he knew he couldn't run to the bathroom on time. And he only went and fucking sprayed puke all over the bar. Oh, which reminds me, what was the name of fuck? There was two main clubs in Colchester back in the day. It was the Hippodrome, and then there was the other one. It was what was it called, mate? Near the what was that kebab place or the chicken place you used to enjoy?
Root.
The night you nearly got
That was
Root.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, mate. So I remember we were out there, and so I don't know what he'd been drinking, but he was just such a grub that he'd just drink anyone's leftover piss, and then the next thing we knew, it's like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna be sick." And then he tried to run or sort of hop and skittle away with his crutches to the bathroom. He didn't make it on time, and he just sprayed puke all over the cubicle door. Oh, mate. And then I remember there was this like Jamaican, fucking no splash, no gash bloke, the one who's got
yeah.
the colognes.
Yeah.
And I just remember he just came out with this, which made the situation even funnier. He went in a proper strong Jamaican accent. He went, Jesus. We were like, fuck. Normally, you had to tip the bloke to get a paper towel after you'd washed your hands. But he was just throwing them out like no man's business.
Oh, maximum hilarity.
Oh dear. So obviously living with grubs, mate, you had you know some of the some days or some weeks the digs were just fucking covered in shit. They were disgusting, you know.
Yeah,
And I remember fucking hell. Right. So what had happened is we all had a cleaning rota,
yeah,
and because he was fucked and he couldn't walk properly, he couldn't. I don't know if it was he was in charge of hoovering the floors or something,
right.
or mopping the communal areas for that term. And you know the place was getting all sticky and stuff. It was mopping. I'm sure it was mopping. And I said, "Come on, you can at least try and help out." And then you could tell that he was getting angry, and he had anger management problems. And then sometimes we'd like run out of bog roll, and because like people wouldn't like we had a communal shopping list, so you know I don't know what the fuck we did. We had to use like normal sort of tissues from downstairs from the kitchen or kitchen roll.
Yeah.
And then I saw him go into the bathroom, and before he shut the door, I saw him grab the bog roll, and then I saw him rip off 4 rectangles, divide them into 2, and he put them down in the bog. And I was like, "Oi, what are you doing wasting that bog roll for, you cunt?" And then, mate, he was going to come for me with a crutch, but he obviously had to fucking go for a turd. And later on, I swear, he nearly kicked my bedroom door down. He came in fucking fuming, and he's like, "Will you stay off my case? This is now getting fucking collateral." And I thought, what the fuck do you mean by that? Oh dear.
Oh,
Nah, but I mean, things would sort of like ease out, you know,
yeah.
in a good way. And then down at the bottom of the green in Greenstead, we invented a new game which we called Crutchet. Instead of playing cricket with a bat, we've used one of his crutches to play Crutchet, which was a good laugh. And I'll shit you not, that was because every time you managed to make contact with the ball, it was so unpredictable in which direction it'd go. You know? Oh, mate.
Oh, brilliant.
But after he'd done those, no, I think it was after the night in route where he'd just drank so much, he'd passed out in the bouncer's arms, and we managed to get him in a taxi and get him home. And me and Jim managed to stick him in bed, and we put him in the recovery position,
Yeah.
and we were like, "Yeah, he shouldn't die." And then me and Jim were like, "Okay, we've got to do something quite funny." So we went and got permanent markers and drew a load of cocks on his face.
Yes.
And then the next day, right, he woke up in the morning. He looked like fucking death, and he's like, "Oh shit, I've got to go on the campus because I've got to hand in some coursework. I've got to hand in an essay." And I was like, "Come on, you can do it. You can survive." And he didn't realise that he was covered in cocks. And after he'd handed in his coursework, he came back and he wouldn't speak to us for about a week. Oh, mate.
Fuck you.
Oh, mate. It's brilliant. Oh fuck me, we've hit the 40-minute mark, and I've only spoken about one flatmate.
This is gonna have to be a
So
series, I think.
this is going to be a series, the fucking Uni Grubs. So this will be fucking Uni Grubs. Fucking what do you call it? Myron special.
Yeah.
Oh mate.
Brilliant.
So yeah, we'll wrap things up there. But I don't know if you've got any closing words you want to say, mate.
I'm gonna have to go and change my underwear because I've pissed myself laughing so much. It's brilliant. But yeah, no.
Oh.
Other than that, it's over now.
Oh, fucking brilliant, mate. All right, I'll be speaking to you later, you chronic masturbator.